Hey guys, today we're going to talk about my good friend PEAT Paragraph, that is. And in a PEAT paragraph, so the PEAT is actually just a shortcut, an acronym of saying what goes in the paragraph. So here, P stands for point. So the first thing you need in a paragraph is your point, which is your topic sentence. So the first sentence of your paragraph. So this is the topic sentence of your paragraph and should state the point of the paragraph. Simple enough. So, for example, if you're writing a paragraph about your favorite class, you might start your paragraph by saying, "Social studies is my favorite class because the material is interesting." And that would be a good point because it tells us exactly what you're going to talk about in the paragraph. All right, so the E in P stands for evidence. And so the second part of your paragraph, you should give reasons or evidence to support your point. So if your point was, social studies is my favorite class because the material is interesting, your evidence might be, for example, we learned last week that maps aren't always accurate, which blew my mind. So you're giving evidence of why. The third part of your paragraph stands for analysis. And so for the third part of your paragraph, for this part of your paragraph, you should explain how your evidence supports your point. You should explain how your evidence supports your point. So for example, if we're working with this same paragraph we've been working with about social studies being your favorite class, your analysis might say something like this: I always thought that maps were factual documents. So the fact that I can't always trust them was interesting to me. So again, you've got your point. Social studies is my favorite class because the material is interesting. You've got your evidence. For example, we learned last week that maps aren't always accurate, which blew my mind. So you're telling us why it's interesting. And then you've got your analysis, which explains how your evidence supports your point. So you've got your analysis that says, I always thought that maps were factual documents, so the fact that I can't always trust them was interesting to me. So as you can see, there seems to be a linear pattern where each part of the paragraph adds another layer of details. Okay. And lastly, the T is going to stand for tie back. Or transition. So, tie back or transition. So, the tie back would be if you're just writing one paragraph and you need to tie everything together back to your point. So, for example, a good tie back for the PEAT paragraph we've been talking about is, that is why social studies is my favorite class. So it just restates your point, ties everything together very nicely. If you were writing a longer paper where there was another paragraph below this one, the transition would be to transition into the next paragraph. So set the reader up for what they're about to hear in the next paragraph. But for now, we're just going to focus on the tie back. And there you go. That's my friend Pete. That's your PEAT paragraph.